Hi guys, welcome to my channel. I'm Teenasai and I'm also known as Grape Guitar Box. That is if you're new here. I usually don't do vlogs or AMAs or anything like that, but I'm gonna give it a try this time. So I'm gonna be answering a few questions that you guys asked me over on Instagram. I'll put a link in the description below for you to find my Instagram account. So before I answer any questions, I'll just give you an idea of what is happening with me right now. I am currently in Singapore. I'm visiting my brother, and I'm also super busy with the EP work, which is why I haven't been able to upload a cover this week. But I definitely hope you like this vlog because uh, so next week on the 16th of May, I'll be releasing my first single, and it's called Run. And I'll put a link in the description below for you to pre-save the track on Spotify, and also you could probably hit that subscribe button here and also follow me on Spotify so that you know when the track comes out. And it's going to be available on other platforms like Apple Music, iTunes, all those places too. So yeah, let's jump into the questions now. Alright, so the first question that we have is okay, this says, if not music, then question mark. Okay, so if I hadn't picked music as my career, I think I would have probably been in the media industry, which basically means that I would have probably either been in advertising or writing screenplay or something like that, because I have a background in media studies and I've kind of worked in those fields a bit. So probably I'd be doing that. If not that, I honestly don't know. I think I'd have to go way back, and probably I'd be an engineer now, because I actually like science and I just picked a different path after school. Okay, the second question is, how much do you love me? Well, I love you very much, and this is from my cousin. Yeah, you know how much I love you. Just pick up the phone and call me. This question says, have you ever undergone vocal training? So I have undergone vocal training. I used to go to Carnatic music lessons when I was a kid. I kind of stopped, after, I think, during my 11th grade or something like that, board exams and all of that stuff. So I never went back to learning after that, because, I went off to college and I just didn't find a chance to actually give it some time. I really enjoyed it, and I definitely, like, if you are looking to, pick up vocal lessons, I definitely recommend it, because it really improves your skills, and it also gives you a chance to practice a lot of things that you might not get a chance to practice. So, and of course the style of music is definitely up to you. Everything has its own pros and cons, but I really enjoyed doing Carnatic music. So this is the deep one. How has music helped you to recover from your painful experiences? Okay, so I think I've probably spoken about this, I don't know, at some point in my life, but I think that music kind of started off as an interest. It was just something that I wanted to do, and I think something that my mom kind of really encouraged my brother and I to take it up. And I was first put into piano lessons, and I did not like them. And I eventually went on to singing and then picking up the guitar and everything, and somewhere down the line I started realizing that I wasn't having a very good time with dealing with my emotions. We weren't what do you say, we're not really taught to, we don't know how to exactly process complicated emotions, and as you're growing up, you just start to experience a lot more things. And one of the things that I experienced was, I think when I was 10 or 11, I moved from another city, and it was a pretty tough move for me, and also I lost my grandfather, and there was a lot of stuff happening. And I think that was the point when I realized that this was a nice convenient distraction, but not a distraction in the way that I was avoiding my issues. It was more like I was kind of channeling them through playing music or through writing songs, or like kind of putting myself there. And I honestly don't know how to explain this in a more tangible, articulate manner, but I think if you have that one thing, or like a few things that usually help you when you're not feeling too good, I think you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Was it difficult to pursue your passion? It has been difficult in terms of the uncertainty and in terms of there's no certain path that you have in case of the entertainment or rather the arts field, because if you're doing something like independent music, then definitely there isn't like a surefire way of you succeeding or whatever that success means to you. But in terms of support, I think I've been so privileged and so lucky, and I'm so grateful because I've had I have a very supportive family, and I have really supportive friends and you guys who really support me by believing in me and just being there. And I think in that sense it hasn't been difficult, but definitely in terms of like my career, I'd say it has been difficult. But I think everybody has their own difficulties in pursuing their passions, I guess. After being in a toxic relationship, my anxiety has increased. How do you help yourself at such a time? This is okay. First of all, I'm not sharing names of the people who are asking the questions, but I think if you're watching this video, I'm so sorry that you had to go through that experience, because nobody deserves it, and it's a really shitty thing. And I would say that I think the first step of helping yourself would be to acknowledge that you've been in that relationship and you've faced a few difficulties and that you've come out of it, and you need to acknowledge that, and also thank yourself for helping yourself get out of it. And the things that helped or generally helped me are doing things that genuinely make me happy or make me feel better about myself, and that's usually things like working out or eating better, meeting friends. And sometimes these things are going to be really tough for you, because if you've been in a toxic relationship, it's highly possible that you're undergoing some depression, and that's going to make you not want to do any of these things or kind of come outside of that comfort zone, because you're so used to feeling shitty, right? I think that's going to need a bit of effort as well, even though it's really tough. And one of the biggest things that help is therapy. I would definitely recommend therapy for actually everybody, because everybody's going through something, and I think it's something that's helped me as well in terms of in a lot of aspects in my life, because I also have OCD, and that's also that also affects in the way I am. So also another thing that I have to just quickly touch upon is that you might not find the right therapist the first time, or even the second time, or even the third time, but just don't give up on the process, because you will get there. And like, trust me when I say this, because I didn't find the right person for quite some time, and I think right now I'm at a place where I can say that it's helping me a lot. How to deal with homophobic people without being rude or ruining your peace of mind? Alright, this is gonna be an interesting one. Well, if you know the answer, let me know. Okay, kidding aside, I think a more serious answer to this would be to actually question them about their beliefs. If somebody says that for example, if somebody says being gay is wrong, or like being queer is a sin, or even being queer is not natural or something like that, just ask them why. And rather than getting angry, because that's not going to work for you or them, if you get angry at them, they're just going to get defensive. Rather than getting angry, probably try and have a conversation with them, understand why they think what they think, and probably if you reason with them, or even kind of create some awareness and give them the right information, that might help them understand this better, and it also might help you keep your peace of mind. But that being said, people aren't entitled to your knowledge or explanation of queer issues or queer people, and that's because honestly it's not like you need to do that for them, because they can also educate themselves. But if you need to deal with homophobic people in your life, I'd say the most peaceful method would be to go by talking to them, like having a conversation with them, because if we don't have conversations, then things are not going to change, and it's not going to change for the better. And even after having that conversation, if they still are not very open to talking to you, then I'd just say, if you can, just move on from them, because they're not worth your time. And I hope they realize, I hope they realize this information and all of this on their own someday. But for your peace of mind, and I don't think it's wrong to put yourself first in those situations, and especially if you're not safe as well. So I have never talked about this except on Instagram. So I think this is the first time I'm going to be addressing this of sorts on YouTube. So here we go. Did you come out to your parents or friends first? How should one come out at an age of 25? I came out to my friends and then my parents, in that order. And I also believe that you never stop coming out in your life if you're queer, because for some reason people just think you're straight and straight and cisgendered. And but I'm going to make another video on this topic, and I'll talk about that in detail. And if you want, if you have any questions about that, you can definitely put them in the comments below, or just text me on Instagram. But for now, I'm going to answer the second part of this question, which says, how do you come out at the age of 25? First of all, it's never too late to come out. Okay, there's no you need to come out at this age or that age, or there's nothing like that. I would suggest, since I don't know the specifics of your situation, I think that you gotta assess your situation and see if it's safe for you. First of all, I'd say that's the first and foremost thing. I know it's really shitty when you don't come out and you're in the closet and it really feels like you're trapped, but I would urge you to look at the safety of your situation. Are you safe at where you are? Are you physically safe? Are you financially safe? And are you financially independent, rather? I mean, I think that being financially independent is always a good a good safety net, because if something happens, you can probably leave and take care of yourself if that's an option for you. That being said, I would say that on a general note, sensitizing your family or your friends to the LGBT community or the issues they face on a general basis is a good place to start. You can probably have conversations about this, or talk about the news, or talk about some famous person that all of you know, and just get their thoughts on it. Obviously, it's different when it's your kid or when it's your friend who is actually queer. But just to get an idea of where they, how open are they to talk about this, or where they kind of lie on their thoughts about the queer community. And from that point onwards, you can gauge what to say to them and how to say it to them. And if it helps you have a supportive family member with you, maybe your siblings or your cousins, or even a supportive uncle or aunt, or somebody who's gonna be there on your side, because this is gonna be a very heavy and emotional thing for you to go through, and you probably need somebody there to kind of help you finish that explanation, or give your friends and family an idea of what exactly is happening. And always remember that it's a process. It's one thing to finish the whole hey, I'm ... but after that, the things that come after that are going to be difficult as well, especially if you're from an Indian family, and I can completely understand that. And you have to give time to your parents to understand this as well, because I'm sure we have taken a long time to understand this and come to terms with it. And obviously our parents are going to be in denial, and we need to kind of give them the time and space to understand that, offer them support, offer them rather than telling them to do something, you can just be like, hey, if you want, I can, take you to therapy, or if you want, we can do this together, or just give them some information, give them sources, and say, in case you want to read it, just go ahead, instead of being you need to read this, because they're just gonna feel like they're backed up against a wall, and they're gonna feel trapped as well. So it's a very scary thing to go through as a family, as an individual, and I know it's about you, but we generally, we have to kind of stick together at this point. And in case it's not safe for you, in case they're not understanding and they're trying to force you to do something that you don't want to do, I just say get out of there, because you don't deserve it. Okay, somebody said, why are you so effing cute? That's because my mom and me. Alright, so we've reached the end of this Q&A session, and it's been a pleasure talking to you guys. You probably know a lot more about me than you knew before, because obviously I never said anything in my other videos. That being said, thank you so much for watching. Please make sure you give it a thumbs up if you liked it. Leave a comment below and tell me what else you would like to see, and share this video. And also, please make sure you hit that subscribe button, because next week on 16th May, Thursday, I'm releasing my first ever single, and it's gonna be an animated video, and I'm super excited because the song is called Run, and it's a song about toxic relationships, and I think that you guys are gonna like it. I've never been as confident about anything, but anyway, you can also find the song on other streaming platforms like Spotify, Apple Music, what else is there? iTunes, etc, etc, etc. I'll put a link of my Spotify account and Spotify profile, and also other things below. You can go and follow me there and check me out, and you can also pre-save the track. I can put that link as well if you want to get updated when the track is uploaded. If you like my music, definitely please share it with your friends and ask them to subscribe as well. Next week is gonna be big. Things are coming out, and also I want to just do a big thank you to everybody who's contributed to my crowdfunding campaign, because we have crossed our goal by a huge margin. The dates are still open. If you still want to contribute, I'll put the link is in the description below again. So check it out, and thank you so much for being here, and see you next week. Bye.